Hey, it's Kari with Reseller Revenue, and today we're going to go back over the what sold for the week. So we're going to look to see what sold in my store this week, break down the numbers. I always show my dashboard. I show the fees that I paid, all of that good stuff. And I usually try to remember to tell you my average cost of goods sold. And we're also going to look at a few surprising vintage jewelry sales that I found while I was researching. Like we know that the big Trafaris are going to sell good. We know that the sterling silver sign pieces are going to sell well. But sometimes we find in my research, I'll find some common brands that just all of a sudden surprise me that they sold so well. So we're going to go over that too. So let me share my screen here. We're going to jump right in with the dashboard on my performance page right here. So here we have where we left off last week, and we will be skipping a week because I'm going to be going on vacation starting on Thursday. So there will not be a what sold video for a few weeks, but I'll catch it up and then we'll review on how my vacation affected my sales. So I'm not worried about it. It just will be what it'll be, and everybody needs to take time off sometime. So here is the sales report for October 6th through October 12th, which is where we left off last time. And it's showing that my sales are down 18% for the gross sales of $6,600. I'm okay with that. Why? Because if we added the one large sale that I had last week, which was $1,600, onto that $6,600, I'd be right in the ballpark. So I expected to drop because I have that one, real outside of the norm sale. So here we have it drop, not a big deal. That's a good strong week for me still. My net sales is the 3,500. That sounds about right. I'm happy with this for sure. My ASP dropped a little bit, but it's going to because I had some high price sales last week. This week was mostly just ordinary sales, so there was a lot of it. And if you look here though, I did sell 7.4% less than what I sold before. Still, I'm happy with 212 sales in a week. I'm good with it. Here, though, if you look, I'm not good with the fact that my repeat buyers is only 8.8%. Really want to shoot towards that 25% repeat buyers every week. But new buyers are great too. So I'm always happy to see new faces and new names. And so I'm always happy for new ones. But I am really trying to build a store based on repeat buyers. If I scroll down here, then we see my chart and we always see, I'm really, really boring when it comes to eBay sales. So there's just kind of I don't have a whole lot of peaks and valleys, which I'm good with because my bills don't have a lot of peaks and valleys either. So if you see here, 180 of my items this week sold on promoted listing, and 112 sold them sending me an offer, and 48 sold with my offer I sent them. Again, I'm totally fine with that. It's part of the game. Let's look at some of the sales we had here. I'm going to start with this one. It was $69.99. Not an amazing sale, right? But it's a Monet necklace. If you know the correct Monet necklaces that sell for good money, or earrings or bracelets, you can find Monet out there. They aren't coveted quite as much as like if there was a Tiffany out there or something like that. People know that, but people always kind of think, oh, I've heard of Monet. People buy Monet. They don't necessarily put it on a top shelf. So this was a scalloped necklace, as you can see. And we are experimenting with different color backgrounds with my photographer. So if you see different ones, we're just trying some new things to see what works the best. So that one, not spectacular. However, we can find those out there. These, I think I have 2 watch chains in my good sales this week. And I love selling watch chains. They sell fast usually. They sell for decent money. And you can find them wadded up in junk lots, or sold as a weird necklace or something, people that don't know what they are. So there's the signature on that. And absolutely keep an eye out for old watch chains. This one, I probably undersold this one actually. So it's not necessarily a win, but it is in my top 10 sales. I could have got more money out of this, I think, and I didn't weigh it. I had it for a while. Yeah, I probably definitely undersold this one, but you know what? I think I had like $3 into this. So it sold. I got some money out of it. I'll go buy something new again. This one, just in time for Halloween, is a Betsy Johnson necklace with a cat in a spider web. Who doesn't need a cat in a spider web for Halloween? It was really actually a pretty cool collar necklace. $110. I had 3. I think I bought this for $3. I bought a Betsy Johnson collection a while back. Watch out. That's a really good thing I'm going to bring up is watch out when you're buying Betsy Johnson. The ones with the pink and the the animal print tags are oftentimes the China knockoffs. And the more we feed those into our system, the harder it is to be able to sell those genuine Betsey Johnson, well-made, well-constructed, good pieces, because people are too afraid they're getting the cheap Betsey Johnson knockoffs on eBay. And I do not buy those pink animal print tags because I know that they are knockoffs and they come in big boxes from overseas and they really diminish the value of the good stuff. So be really cautious when you're buying Betsey Johnson online. This one, obviously, well, I'm pretty sure anyway, that this one had a replacement stone right here because it didn't match the rest of them, but it was a pretty neat, and this one had a missing stone right here. You'll see that I put read in the title. That's what I do when I have an issue with an item. I want them to know that hey, there's missing stones. Hey, I know that there's one that's been replaced, but it was still a pretty nice brooch. And I bought this on a lot on eBay. Here's another watch chain, about the same price again. This one's a short one at 11 inches. That's how that one looks. It's got the T-bar on it. If you know the name of the style of the watch chain, that will help sell it. Here's a vintage sterling silver brooch. It was huge. It isn't really signed, I don't think, but it was neat. I was kind of shocked that I got the 90 bucks out of it, but it didn't weigh a whole bunch. But it was pretty unique and it definitely was well made. So when I'm not sure on something, I just price up and hope for the best. And if not, it'll get dropped quick enough in my sales. There's a Pandora charm bracelet. This one was in a little bit of rough condition, but it very well might polish up. I do not polish my sterling silver. I don't clean in all the little nooks and crannies. There you can see that. I will show you how I knew it was in fact a Pandora. There's the signature, the ALE, and there's ALE inside of that charm. Here is a watch. I do like to pick up old watches, especially mechanical ones. This one worked and it was gold filled. A lot of these old ones are. There's not a ton of gold value in them, but they kind of give them that cool old look and people do shop for them. The older men's watches, mechanical ones, are definitely usually worth a little bit more, but I do pick up the ladies when they're priced right. Here is a junk box. I will say I do have great junk boxes. So this one was 14 pounds because my junk boxes are anything that I don't want to fix or don't want to list. So there's lots of good listable items in here that I just don't want to list or they aren't for me. Does not mean that they're bad. They also do have broken things in them or things missing rhinestones. But if you fix things or you don't mind selling some lower dollar items, my junk boxes are probably a really great deal for you. And here's another one. So my top 2 sales this week were junk boxes. What does that mean? That means I sold a lot of everyday items. And I'm okay with that. So I sold 212 items this week, and a lot of them were mid-priced and they weren't high dollar. And that also means that you can find them out there. You can find these, $30 profit items or the $15 profit items even, and you have to decide what metrics you're going to follow for your business and what's going to work best for you. And you're the only one that can make those decisions. So I know I play a little bit higher volume game, and that works for me. Would I like to be a little bit more boutique and just do the really high end items? Maybe someday, but for right now, to get the income I want and desire out of eBay, I have to play the volume game. So here I brought up this one. Like I said, I didn't want to bring up ones that were sterling silver or solid gold or ones that were obvious reasons why they brought so much or old Trafaris. We know those bring up money. But this one is a Carl art. And lots of times the Carl art brooches will be sterling or they are vermeil or they are gold filled and they are signed, but that's what they'll say. They'll say GF on them. This one was just 10 karat. So I don't know that I've ran across one, but I might be a little bit more aware now that these can be just 10 karat. So that is the Carl art brooch marking or just in general, whatever it is a CA with the arrow through it. So be aware that those can in fact be actual gold, which I did not realize. I included one Juliana in here, mostly because overall I feel like Juliana prices have dropped quite a bit over the last couple years. But if you get a really nice set or you get one that's pretty unique, you can still command good money for it. So here's the back of the Juliana brooch. Do you see the puddling right here? See those figure 8s? You can see that that's a really good one. It's nice figure 8s. This is a nice figure 8. It's got figure 8s everywhere. Also the open back stones is a good indicator. All of these are just indicators. They aren't like a foolproof, this is it. And I did not look to make sure that this one was verified on the Is It Juliana website. But if you are buying Juliana to collect it or buying it to resell it as a Juliana, I would absolutely look it up on the Is It Juliana website, and then I would put the verification code in there. Let me see if they did. They did not. I do believe they're correct. That looks like it's most likely a Juliana, but I do verify it if I'm going to do it. Again, we have the open back stones. The 3 holes in the paddle are kind of something we see a lot with Juliana, but Juliana had a lot of earring back types, so I would not go just off of that. Yep. Good pictures. And that brought $479. So I thought that was worth mentioning. I did not do any of the huge, crazy, high-priced items because I just don't find them that very much. And I like to show you guys things that you might actually find. So here's a Coro Craft Love Lane lamppost. I don't think I've ever come across this one. I do think with the styling and just the quality that you can see that you probably know to pick it up. However, if you don't, and you would just think, oh, that's another Coro Craft, or that's Coro. Actually, I think quite a few of these that I pulled up today are going to be Coros. So there are some really good Coro sterling pieces, especially the older ones. So it's got wear on it. Don't be afraid of that. I do not polish up my sterling. I figure a collector may want it to look original. And you can always, your customer can always go and polish it. It's really hard for them to put 100 years of patina back on or 40 years of patina back on. So I do not put mine. Here's a Vendome triple flower rhinestone brooch with only 2 pictures. I did not look up Terapeak to see what it actually brought. But I have known in my past studies that certain Vendome brooches do command pretty good money. I'm used to seeing more Vendome necklaces than anything, and like the crystal strands with rhinestones and some beading. But they do make brooches, and do look up the brooches when you find them. Here's a Coro ballerina dancer. I like ballerina brooches. They do seem to sell good. I think there's collectors out there for it, but there's where it says the Coro Craft mark. So again, I did not look this up on Terapeak. I'm not sure of the actual sold price, but see how it's got the waffle glass? Some people call it invisible set glass, but it is unique. It is different, and I'm sure that it still brought a good price. Here's another Coro Craft. So here's a Coro Craft set. It's very nice, very well done. Flowers. Again, it's a name that we see often, but there are pieces that bring a really good commanding price. And so far we've seen the Coro Craft and the Coro Sterling have been those pieces. Here's a KJL that was $450. I thought that was pretty great. They say it's a dragon. I don't know. Looks kind of funny to me. But $495 sounds pretty good too. Here's bracelets. Here's a KJL bracelet. KJL can be really good. That cuff bracelet we just saw was a KJL. This also is a KJL. And if you look here, it's nice. It's big. It's chunky. I'm not sure what the actual selling price was. There's the mark. So look those KJLs up if you run across them. This one I didn't look up either, and it was actually in GBP as far as currency, but here you see that would have been $435.58. These were really cool. These were like the 1994 Polly Pockets that you mailed away for. So to have this many in one charm bracelet's fairly rare. And I just thought it was really neat. I have not seen these, and it's something to look out for. The last ones are mostly Bakelite, and I have gotten a lot of Bakelite lately. I do not advertise my Bakelite personally unless I test it with semichrome because, and I realize the black doesn't react, so I do struggle with whether the black is or isn't. However, the colors should turn yellowish, like a nicotine yellow almost, when you put the semichrome on a cloth or a Q-tip. A Q-tip works really easy. Put it on the back side. Do not use it on the front, and see if it turns yellow. However, make sure your items are totally clean before you do that, because if, let's say, it had been stored in a smoking area, it may actually just be dirty that you're getting with the yellow. So make sure that you check that out before you do it. But this was a very cool, like almost tie-dyed piece, very retro. It says true end of day Bakelite bangle. I really like this one. I thought it was neat. Here is another carved, it says painted Bakelite clamper. That one is really neat. It's got the different coloring. So it's a base of a butterscotch Bakelite, and then it's painted with the carvings. And any of the carved Bakelite does seem to do pretty well if it's got an elaborate flower pattern put into it or whatnot. Again, test your Bakelite with the semi-chrome. So this one caught my eye because I listed an acorn brooch this week of Bakelite. And so I thought it was neat to find the matching bracelet and another brooch that was also acorns. And acorns have been pretty good, have been pretty hot. So I really like that. I thought that was really neat. See if there's anything extra to show us. Acorns have been on the in, which is kind of funny to me. Here's an Eisenberg. So some of the Eisenberg originals can bring really good money. Not that the Eisenberg ices can't, but the Eisenberg originals are the ones that I have personally found that do really well. Here's a fur clip. So this is what I wanted to point out. They didn't even put fur clip in the title. I'm not saying maybe they would have got more money or not, but do notice that the backs of these clips that look like a dress clip, but they're pointy, those are fur clips because the points would go into the fur. So make sure that we are keywording that in our titles if we do have a fur clip. So you can see there's lots of vintage metalware. There's lots of wear to that coating, but there it is. There's the Eisenberg original stamp. I've done really well with the Eisenberg original in the past, but I don't find it very often. Wish I did. Sells really well. Here's a Judith Lieber brooch, and it is on the newer side. Judith Lieber stuff is not super old. You can tell by the back there. It's in an old box, but that is not the box that it came in. I guarantee it. But this one kind of surprised me a little bit. I think it probably is gemstones is the main reasoning there. I thought that was kind of a cool sale to look out for. My last two are Lucinda pins. Lucinda pins in general are not super high sellers, but if you get some of the higher dollar rare ones, they really can bring some good money. And usually they are holiday themed with the higher priced ones. So there it is. It says Designs by Lucinda, and it's the Christmas tree for $475. And there's another one, another signed Christmas tree, and it says 15 stars, green dots. So watch out for the rare Lucindas. So that's all I have for you this week. I'm going on vacation mode starting this Sunday because for me, if you want to go on vacation and you're going to be gone and can't ship, then you need to go on vacation mode at least 4 days before you're going to be gone, because that allots for anybody that has the 4-day payment grace period to pay your items. I will be contacting people that still owe closer to my time, letting them know, hey, I'm going to be leaving town. Please get your items paid for because they will be canceled after your 4-day notice. I then also have a message set up within eBay so that every time somebody buys something in my store while I'm on vacation, it will give them my customized message. My customized message says things like, hey, I'm out looking for cool stuff for us, and I'm going to be back, and everything will be shipped November 3rd. It does have a little blip at the top that says, even though I'm on vacation mode, I will be shipping normally through the 22nd, just so that they know if they shop now that I will get it out before I leave. And then I have a little thing in there that says, hey, feel free to shop the whole time I'm gone, and then I'll combine your shipping when I get back at only 99 cents extra item for each item purchased, or any orders over $50 ship for free. So I want people to encourage people to add those things to their cart, keep shopping while I'm gone. And I will be launching listings while I'm gone, but just not my full 40 a day. I will do at least 5, and I have drafts ready to go for that so that I can launch 5 a day while I'm gone, just to keep the algorithm going. And then I know from past experience that when I get back, my sales are going to pop right back as soon as I start listing like normal again. And I will just try to list some really great stuff when I get back. And I have no fear that my sales won't pop right back up. So if you need to go on vacation time, you need to take some time away, please do. Just know how to do it to cover yourself in eBay. And then when you get back, just work really hard and it will come back. I don't really want to like bring jewelry on vacation with me or be cleaning it or taking pictures of it or any of that stuff, because I need the break. Everybody needs a break sometimes. So give yourself a break when you need it. So I appreciate it. Check out us on Reseller Revenue on Patreon. You can join our group. We meet Monday through Thursday and we talk about all things reselling and business. We do our numbers together. We run ideas past each other. It's like a really good coworker group that we have. and I do lead different topics, and so do other people. So we have a jewelry call dedicated just to jewelry on Tuesdays at 10 o'clock Central, also included in the group. And you can also just get a membership just to be able to listen to all of our past videos, which can also be very helpful. So thank you very much.